Good morning, children. Today in English language, take out your Friday afternoon comprehension and composition. Turn to page number 24. Yesterday we started a new lesson, chapter 9, A Lump of Gold. You heard the story yesterday, you read the story, but today I'm going to read the story once again and explain you each paragraph. So listen carefully, children. The name of the story is A Lump of Gold. Once upon a time, there lived a miser. He loved to save up money. One day, he sold off all that he had and bought a lump of gold. He dug a hole in the ground by the side of an old wall. He buried the gold in the hole and went to look at it every day. So, children, once upon a time there was a miser. Now, who is a miser? A miser is a person who does not want to spend money. He loves to save money, but he doesn't want to spend money. So he loved to save up money. So whatever money he had, he wanted to keep it. He did not want to spend it. So that type of person is called a miser. So one day, the miser sold off all that he had and bought a lump of gold. He dug a hole in the ground by the side of an old wall. There was an old wall, children. So he dug a hole in the ground to bury his gold. So he buried the gold in the hole and he went to look at it every day. Every day he went and looked where he had buried the lump of gold. Someone noticed his frequent visits to the spot. Digging deep, he came upon the lump of gold and stole it. On his next visit, the miser found the hole empty. Now there was somebody who had been watching this man. He was watching this man. Frequent visit means he used to go to that spot where he had buried his lump of gold. He used to go there so many times. Frequent means many times he used to go. So the man became curious. So when nobody was looking, he dug deep inside the ground and he found a lump of gold. And this man took the gold away. He did not leave it there. He took the gold away and he went. On the next visit, when the miser came, he found the hole empty. He had dug up the mud and he had taken out the lump of gold from it and the hole was empty. Now turn to page number 25, children. He began to cry. One of his neighbors smiled and said, "Why do you feel bad about the loss of the gold? You are not making use of it anyway. You may as well get a stone and bury it there instead of the gold." The miser was ashamed and went home. So this miser began to cry when he found out that somebody had taken away his lump of gold. When his neighbor, one of his neighbors, heard this story, then the neighbor smiled and said, "Why do you feel bad about a thing which you have just put it inside a hole and you only go and you are not using that thing? You're only going and looking at that, whether that lump of gold is there or not. You're not making any use of it. So it's better you bring a stone, bury it and come to look for whether the stone is there or not every day. What is the use whether you put a gold or a stone? You're not using it. So That day the miser learnt a lesson. He was ashamed of himself, ashamed of what he had done. If he had spent the money on himself, then he would have been satisfied. But he did not spend the money on himself. He just bought that lump of gold with that money. He did not make any use of it, and at last somebody took his lump of gold. So he was ashamed and he went home. So that day the miser must have learnt a lesson. So children, today's assignment will be A. Comprehension. You have already done the other numbers. Only number 1 and 2 are left. So today you're going to do question number 1, answer, and 2, answer. Number 1, what did the miser love to do? Your answer is very simple. You have to write, the miser loved to. Now, what did the miser love to do? You're going to write, the miser loved to. So, in these dotted lines, you're going to write your answer. Question number 2, what did he buy after selling off all that he had? Your answer, instead of buy, you have to write bought. B-O-U-G-H-T, bought. Because the past tense of buy is bought. So you will write, he bought, whatever he bought, you write that answer after selling off all that he had. So listen once again. He bought, B-O-U-G-H-T, bought, whatever thing he bought, you write that answer and then write after selling off all that he had. So today's assignment will only be number 1 and number 2. The others you have already done it yesterday. So children, this is all for your English language assignment.